Welcome to this tech news update. We are on Monday, October 22nd, 2018. And today in our tech news update, we have Google Chrome web browser that will be available for Windows 10 on ARM. Now, when an app needs to run on Windows 10 ARM, it needs to have a change in its code to actually run on something else than what is usually Intel. So Google, probably looking at the fact that Windows 10 on ARM might actually be a big thing, has decided that it will release its browser for that. But there's a little something that you need to know, is that it won't be available through the Microsoft Store. Microsoft has issued interesting stats on who is the most likely to lose money over all types of tech scams. We might think that old people and that, are more vulnerable. Well, the statistics from Microsoft show that the millennials, the young generation, is the number one generation losing money over tech scams of all sorts, not just the tech frauds of having Microsoft call you or things like that. Online frauds of all sorts, and 56% of them have lost some money, and Microsoft says that's because of their risky behavior online. So this is interesting, and although they are calling themselves at 75% tech experts, they seem to be far from being experts. Tim Cook says that Bloomberg's story is false and it needs to retract it. It told the Congress that it had never been hacked, and that story is simply not true. It says it never found any evidence of this happening, and it's getting more and more interesting as to why would Bloomberg, issue such a article if it's not true? Is somebody hiding something somewhere? Microsoft shut down 6 other Russian websites that were actually there to spam and interfere with the elections in the United States, midterm elections. Now it actually has a new free tool for any political party to use called Account Guard that apparently will remove anything that is suspicious or shouldn't be there that could be something dangerous to change or for any political formation in the United States. Linus Torvalds had surprised many people by stepping down from being in charge of Linux. He said that his behavior kind of did not create a very healthy environment. But now with the release of the Linux kernel 4.19, he's back in charge again. So maybe we'll have more of their ranting from Linus Torvalds. As Microsoft Windows 10 October 2018 update is still being tested, it seems that in the latest tests with the release preview and the slowing insiders, and that even with some October 2018 update people that have already upgraded, users have upgraded, it seems that there's one thing broken with the zip files. Apparently it doesn't ask you all the time if you want to actually overwrite some of the files, so that could mean that you could have, as a result, some loss of data, and that although apparently a little really minor in its problems, just shows you that there's a lot of things that are not working right with the testing process. If you use VLC or MPlayer or pretty much any media player of all sorts, there's a huge problem, a major security bug that's been identified on the media players. That means that a stack buffer overflow can inject code and do whatever you want or they want on your PC. So if you use VLC, MPlayer, I think DOM-POD player is also affected. Make sure you're running the latest version as it fixed that security hole. Well, after a big YouTube outage last week, which lasted about a couple of hours, Google is apologizing, and if you're on YouTube TV that also got affected, well, you're getting a week worth of credits, as the impact on YouTube TV was also seen. And of course, if you're watching TV or you're watching something, it's not really cool. Voices, of course, rising again as to the Windows updates, but it's interesting. Some of the voices actually are saying, well, the problem isn't that much that there's 2 updates a year. The problem is much more in how they're testing and how the development of Windows 10 is going on, and that it could be much better if they would test it properly, and that whether it's 1 or 2 updates a year apparently is not where the problem lies, and that's not where we should look at if Microsoft wants to continue doing this. Well, a broadband industry is now suing Vermont. They had sued California a couple of weeks back over its net neutrality rules. Vermont has introduced rules that require telcos to actually follow net neutrality guidelines in order to get government contracts. Of course, the broadband industry is mad and says it's unfair, and it's now suing Vermont. Well, Supermicro says that it will check its hardware and search for evidence of this spy chip that was announced by Bloomberg, but it says that as of yet has absolutely no evidence it ever happened on any of its devices. So this is kind of interesting. Every voice of the technology world is saying, no, ain't true, ain't happening. But still, they are going to take a look. Well, a study says that key parts of rural America not only are without the latest broadband technology for internet, they are just entirely out of internet service, and that this needs to be changed, and that in our modern 2018 world, there shouldn't be a place in America without internet access. And this was the Tech News Update for Monday, October 22nd, 2018. You enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.